Uh, yes, well, probably I will send it to you tomorrow morning. Just with the description also. Yeah, all right, I'll send you the slides. Yeah. I thought that was right away going to the system, but it seems to be a bit of a delay. Yeah. Okay. Shall we wait for the? Yeah. Shall we start? Let's start, and then he joins. Okay. So we started with talking about thinking of trends and how the trends actually shape the whole idea of like how the future is going to be like. And this is the first step that is typically done to understand the design space that you are going to address. But there's another one that's very important, is mapping the context in which your interaction is going to happen, because the context determines in so many different ways in how this interaction would happen, that basically it's very good to understand why, what the context of the interaction is. And there is a new method developed by Delft University of Technology in the Netherlands, and it's called context mapping, and it basically has this goal of bringing the understanding and the empathy towards the user, of the designer towards the user, to understand what's going on with the user. So basically what it says is that, like I said, that to design a true experience, something that really touches people, you really need to understand and feel like put yourself in the shoes of the user. And to give you an example how important it is, these things, they don't differ that much. And try to find a hemorrhoid cream there and a toothpaste. And like basically when you wake up in the middle of the night, you go to the bathroom, you try to look for these kind of things. Not an easy thing to find, right? And so like, I don't know if you ever read the books of Agatha Christie, the detective stories, but there's always this story that someone drinks a poison in a glass of a medicine or water that's standing beside their bed. And, those things, they should have a different shape and different feel for a reason, so people can easily distinguish between them and not make these kind of mistakes, or at least make them less likely. So this is one thing that's really important. But there's another thing, and actually I experience this in Poland quite often, that you've got, there are some architectural constraints and that make people put the ATM machines in different kind of places. And indeed, in Poland, I really have a few ATM machines which I have to go like this to press the buttons, and it's really difficult to read because it's put against the sun, so the sun is shining on the screen, and you can't really read anything from it. So this seems, especially this one, seems quite ridiculous, right? But how about that? You have a person who is disabled, who is on a wheelchair, and it makes sense then, right? That's not a stupid design. That was maybe not the best design, but that was obviously might have been designed for a very different user. So there might be actually a goal into this kind of sometimes ridiculous solution. I've got this. I don't really remember the company that made the next example, but I've got this friend who was quite seriously injured 2 years ago, like almost 3 years ago, and he ended up in a hospital. And he was staying in this hospital for 3 months. It was a really long time. And as he's a UX designer, he immediately observed a very interesting thing. So every morning, a nurse would come and measure his temperature. And now there are those infrared thermometers that can be used. And basically, it's like you get this thing and you point it at the user's head and the patient head, and you shoot it like a gun. Not a very nice experience. Okay, probably from an ergonomic perspective, from technology perspective, this is a very good design. But no one ever thought how the users are going to feel when someone comes to their beds and just puts this kind of thing next to their heads and then starts shooting. So actually, there was obviously quite a major discussion about this particular design in the online community. So some of the companies redesigned it in such a way, so basically it's less obviously a gun. But if you think about this kind of designs, I cannot even imagine that someone who was designing this thing could have even thought about nurses and doctors and do studies with them. It's just that they didn't really think about all the stakeholders that are playing a role in this interaction that's going on. Mark was mentioning during the last class a lot about like how important it is to really think about who else is being involved in the interaction that's going on, because it really affects the way people behave and therefore interact. So yeah, I think that this is an example to remember for a longer time as a good, as a good and bad design in those terms. So basically, this all context mapping idea is all built around the notion of empathy. And just to specify, this is one of the definitions of what empathy is. And basically, it says that it's our intuitive ability to identify with other people's thoughts and feelings, their motivations, emotional and mental models, values, priorities, preferences, and inner conflicts. So basically, the whole thing is that when you are a designer and you start designing things, it's quite easy to go into your inner world and design things that you like, that are good for you, and not necessarily for your users. And the whole thing of building empathy and the importance of the process of building empathy is to get out of your own shoes and put yourself into someone else's shoes and remember about those shoes throughout the whole design process, rather than just, for a moment, like, okay, they are a bit different and now I'm going to design my own thing anyway. So basically, before, when technologies were being designed, we are just talking about empathy and why context is important, so just turn in. So basically, before, when the traditional UCD process was being applied, so user-centered design process, in the past years, which was much more technology-oriented, it was more important to understand the pragmatic, the ergonomic needs of the users. But right now, because this whole thing changed, and we are trying to design things that are not only working, but they are flowing and being exciting and being engaging, therefore this empathy issue becomes more and more important. The thing is that it is becoming important in the last few years, so there's very little done on that. So there are like few methods, and probably this will be something that will be growing. So I was looking for a number of methods, and I'm going to talk about them later in another class. But basically, this is something that is quite state of the art right now. This method, context mapping. And why is this empathy important? Because like I told you in the last lecture, people in this creative era, people are looking for solutions that feel like they were designed for them. So there's this need for customization, individualization, this entire need for having this thing that's my own, although it can be even a generic design. And I have an example. I don't know how popular Booking.com is over here, but actually I fell in love with them a long time ago when I was planning a trip to Canada, and the whole story was like that. We were going to Canada for a conference, and before we were planning to have some trip through the Rocky Mountains. We checked online that Polish citizens didn't need a visa to Canada, so we were very happy. We purchased our tickets. We came to the airport. I was the first in a line for check-in, and the lady looked at me and she took my ticket, tore it apart, threw it away, and said, like, "You're not flying to Canada today." And I was just like, "What?" And she told that, of course, Polish citizens didn't need visas for Canada, but only when they had biometric passports, and I had an old passport, so my passport was not biometric, and therefore I needed a visa to go to Canada. So, by the way, it was a long weekend, like bank holidays in Poland, so I think that we were supposed to fly on Saturday, so there was Sunday, Monday was bank holiday, Tuesday was open, and Wednesday was bank holiday again, and then Thursday the conference was starting. So you can imagine our stress and panic and, kind of freaking out of what to do with this whole situation. And next to it, we had already a number of hotels booked along the way from Calgary to Vancouver, where we were going for the conference. And so next to having all this trouble with the ticket, not knowing whether we managed to get to the conference, we would lose all the money for the hotels, especially the first one, which was like, we were supposed to be there 12 hours, and we were stuck on the other side of the globe. So I remember calling booking.com, like completely distressed, and saying, like, trying to explain this whole situation, trying to make them understand that, like I'm screwed. Like I just cannot do anything about this whole situation. And this guy told me, calm down, relax. We will do everything in our power to help you out. And so he explained that he's going to call the hotel, ask whether they can do the cancellation without the extra charges, and then he will let me know what's going on. So indeed, like switching the phones, the music goes on, then he switches back to talk to me, and he says, like, everything is arranged. I talked to this guy of this and that name. He said that you're not going to be charged extra for the cancellation. I'm going to send you an email with my details, the details of the guy, everything that we agreed upon, and then if there's any trouble, just contact us and tell us that something went wrong, and we will resolve it. I was hooked. I was just like in love with those guys, and thinking, like, I really don't want to book with anyone else, because they did something that was really personal and very individualistic, and they give me a personal service. I can imagine that they can basically offer this service to pretty much everyone in the world, but that felt very personal and customized towards me. But that was one of the things, and many other things that they started adding. They created something which is called Genius Account. So, like, if you booked with them a number of times, then you get some extra discounts and things like that. And then you get extra things like a map of your travels with kilometers of how much you traveled, where you were, and so on and so forth. So these are the things that make this feel personal, or although this is a product which is like designed for a very generic public. So these are the small things that you can do if you truly understand what is important for people and what people pay attention to. And sometimes that doesn't really have to be the whole design. It can be just those elements that make it special, and this really changes the way people perceive what you've created. But there is one thing. Empathy is happening in context. So you cannot take it out of the context, and, like, if I'm telling you the story about my trip to Canada, you can empathize because you probably traveled and you were late, and you kind of might have had a similar experience. If you never had this kind of experience, it's very difficult to understand, like, what the heck is going on. So this is very important to understand, that context is like the package that wraps the empathy that you are creating in yourselves. The problem is that context is really, 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 really tough to understand. It's tough to understand because it's not stable. It's not a stable state. It has, this is probably the most generic metaphor and diagram of context I managed to find. But it has something, and it has this environment and some input and outputs, and things can change. And there is a lot of things going on in the context. So sometimes there are some people there, sometimes they are not. Sometimes the weather is like this, and sometimes it's like that. And everything influences what the context is all about. So, of course, you can always try to have a view on the context. But in a way, this is always a guess. This is you can try to map as many elements of the context as you can, but in the end you will be guessing. So this is this part where intuition plays a role, and this will kind of be your personal view. So although you try to be out of this of your shoes, you will always have those shoes a little bit on you, and then, yeah, this is okay as long as you are not fully just designing for yourself. And this will be also built on your personal experiences. Nonetheless, if you do these kind of things, you will get into more dependable view of a situation in which your products are going, or your solutions are going to be used. So those products will be better fit by the fact that you just understood what the context is all about. And so a question to you: what is the context of this lady out there? What country is it? What do you think? Yeah. Why? Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And what is this lady thinking about? Okay. What else? Is she really thinking about currency? That's her currency. She's like living in it. Yeah. So like how much the things people buy. Wait. Yeah. What else? Yeah. Okay. What else?
Buying things.
Yeah. 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 What else? What's the weather? What else? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So she has to remember or like recall those prices. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So probably she's worrying on the one hand that there may be not enough, or maybe there will be some leftovers that she would have to throw away, so she can lose money on it. What else? Okay. Actually, yeah, in the Netherlands, I would get this question sometimes. So I was buying some strange combination of things, and then people would ask, like, what are you going to make out of it? Yeah. What else? Does she have a family? Yeah. Can she be thinking about them? Like in those moments between the customers? I used to have a picture of a guy, and I was always laughing that he's just thinking how pissed his wife will be when he comes home. So, yeah. But she might also think about the interactions with the other people who are selling there, right? So other, yeah, competition or maybe collaboration. Maybe trying to get into an agreement on how they can arrange things so everyone has a better business. Anything else?
Everything else related to hearing goods.
Yeah.
Religion.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much balance is left for which in
Yeah. Yeah, so some of those things can be very pragmatic, very down to earth. Some of them can be quite emotional. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Another one. What's going on over here? What's the context of this whole situation?
The cafe.
Yeah.
kind of conflict?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Or? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What are those bikes doing there? Yeah. Or? Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. So, so yeah, I just saw this picture and I thought like, oh my God, there's like thousands of stories that you can tell about what's going on over there, and every story is a new context for this entire situation. And depending on what story you come up with, there will be the context for this entire situation. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. If they are students, because maybe they are workers, and maybe this is really an office, and then you don't care. Like at Google, we would like people would go down and sit in a restaurant, and just leave your laptop there because yeah, it's just like very unlikely that anyone is going to steal anything from you. So it so much depends on the context in which and for which you are designing. Okay, one more. Oh no, not one more. There will be more. How about this one? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. But you are looking at it from a perspective of a customer, right? How about a perspective of a maid or maybe a manager? Yeah, it's clean, right? So he came and checked and everything is fine. So he's happy with his stuff. And the maid, she is, she probably just cleaned it. So she spent quite some time trying to tidy it up. A completely different perspective on the same space from different people who come to that space. So even if the space doesn't change that much, here, you can think of the different goals of the space. So here the space is the same, but you just have very different perspectives of people at it. And how about this one? Do you know the system? Did you hear about it? So the whole idea is that you get an app on your mobile phone, on your smartphone, and then you hook with a taxi provider, and basically you can order the taxi based on a Google map or on a map, and you can also have your favorite drivers, and you get an indication from where the driver is, and you can really point on a map to show where exactly you are waiting. So there's no more explanation of like, okay, I'm not on this corner, but on that corner, or like, on the other side of the building. And yeah, this is actually a pretty cool application that builds trust between drivers and the customers, and then just makes it much more personal. So what's the context of this situation? Yeah.
Showing how it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taxi driver also means revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a taxi car.
Mm. Yeah, but also you're evaluating this for the company, so the company knows which drivers should stay on their payroll and which should be maybe changed, right? So there is the whole company culture building through this kind of app. But also think of the different times during the day. Like, you get an indication that the driver is just approaching, and then when it's middle of the night, and obviously, as you all are a woman, you just don't have to wait outside. You just get out at the very last moment, so you feel safer. So see, like there are like again a single interaction and like so many different contexts and so many different stories that you can tell about this whole thing. And the major problem with basically thinking in terms of a context is that we tend to think about those sort of idealized conventions about what your users are, like happy family, beautiful house, everything's going fine, no problems, no troubles, no mess. And in fact, when you look at their homes, it usually looks more or less like this. It's messy. It's like, it's complicated. And it has a lot of different things, clashing against each other. And this is so important to remember. And also, this is one thing about this whole messiness of context. But also, another thing is like how creative people can be in their own contexts. And this is an example. This is one mom, a mom cooking with her two daughters. And actually, she's cutting a frozen pizza with scissors. And actually, I tried, and like also like the tortillas, it goes much better with scissors than with the knife. so it's like really sometimes you can really observe those unexpected uses of some things that can be an incredible inspiration for your design. So I've got a first exercise for you. Post-it notes. Just get each one of you 15. So this is for your project. sometimes someone's in need. Guys, you can do the same if you want to. You can do it for your project. So you don't have to do it for their project, but it can be a good exercise for your project as well. Or maybe we could do the 2 rounds. Maybe we could do first your project and then we will do your project. Yeah. Okay. So do you guys know what's the project is all about? Jonathan, you know, right? You don't. So the idea is that you think like people want to share emotions and different kinds of emotions. And the question now that so the project is about designing something that allows them to share emotions with each other. And the task is that I would like you on individual post-it notes to write at least, or you can write 15, different types of users and situations, users who might want to share their emotions with each other. So, get out of the, typical thinking about a couple and try to think about different relationships between people and situations when they would like to share their emotions. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
So we have one user in each one.
Yeah. Or one kind of user situation, kind of contextual, short descriptions, like 1 sentence description.
So is there like somebody who wants something and there's another person who just provides something?
Yeah, it's just exchanging emotions. So like, a couple being apart and, they want to say goodnight, whatever. Yeah. So these kind of situations is just try to think about different relationships than just a couple being apart. Yeah. You can sometimes think of the same actors, but in different situations. So like, it can be, you can have like, a mother and a child, and privately and publicly. So think also of the, the fact that the context changes the way people share emotions. It's being said that the first 5 are the easiest and the last 5 are the most interesting. Not necessarily. Mm-mm. Not an easy task, right? Think of your close one, like friends and family. This might bring more inspirations. Okay, 2 more for everyone, and then I will stop torturing you. At least some of you. But really, everyone has to come up with 2 more, unless they are done. But I think that, yeah. You can think of wanting to show me how much I'm annoying you with this exercise, for example. Right? No, I think, how many more left? 3. For you?
Yeah.
You finished? Oh, cool. Yeah, cool. Guys, how about you? Okay. Do you want to go with the 4?
Everyone's waiting.
Okay. And how about you?
I'm not.
Okay. Okay, so let's go with, like, just tell your first story, and then we will start making, I'll put this. So let's share the ideas that you've got, and then I will try to create a mind map here, so we put it together. So just let's go one by one, and then, everyone is sort of not...
Teacher-student interaction.
Once again?
Teacher-student interactions. So it's like you are teaching and I'm learning, so we can share this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can be like puzzled or like not understanding, and I could get this. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I got like children and the grandparents. Like relatives.
Okay.
Yeah, I got I'm playing sports. I'm probably the coach and the players.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
I have flatmates.
Flatmates. Yeah. Okay. Completely different categories, really. Yeah, guys. Once again. Okay. With the other. Okay. Okay. So this is the kind of the parents and grandparents and children and grandchildren. So that the kind of being visited, but more contextual, meaning that she's in an old people home. Yeah. Okay. How about you?
My first one is the person wanting a drink from a bar in a crowded environment, bartender.
Okay. So I think that goes towards the flatmates, right? It can be like friends and flatmates, and this is probably like close, like it's more like peers, right?
I don't know. Like, I mean, you don't necessarily have to know who the bartender is, but you know, bartender's business.
Okay, so this is more like a more like bartenders, like professional kind of environment. Yeah. So I think that goes more with a teacher, you know. Okay.
Landlord in interaction, landlord asking for rent.
Okay. Okay, yeah, this is definitely the business related, right? Okay.
What's still patients, like relatives?
Once again?
Hospital
Patients. So I think that this might be the kind of old person, home, and the relatives, right? Okay. Can I get it? Yeah, cool. Yeah?
Probably a doctor and a patient.
A doctor and a patient, okay. So again, this is like really professional. Yeah?
CEO to employees.
Okay. Yeah, again, the professional guys.
Mine was the same thing, like how person in addition to nobody else wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
So on days when we start,
Okay.
communicate that
To the nurse or to the doctor.
the people at home. Like sometimes
Mhm.
we have like if they follow up with us.
Yeah. So that's a professional help. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
One was a student who's going to tell their parents about their exam results.
Okay.
Waiting for so long to hear back.
Okay, cool. So this is I think the parents and the children is a different one, and this is old person sharing emotion. Is it more hospital patient to relatives and no, this is flatmates more, right? In a way, it's okay, different age, but yeah. Okay.
Flatmates interaction.
Okay. That goes here. Yeah.
I got long distance relationship.
Okay. We didn't get the relationship yet. I know that I was telling like don't focus on it, but yeah.
Children who study overseas, they tell their parents.
Okay.
Classes.
Okay. So this is the student and parents. Yeah. Okay.
Most drivers, other drivers. Okay, Europe.
Okay. Other drivers. This is one different category.
And child stays school to the parents. So the parents can see how the child is feeling.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
A grandfather telling a story to his grandchildren.
Uh-huh.
Past.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There are actually lots of these kind of projects in Europe going on about like the heritage of places and like really telling stories by grandparents telling them to their grandchildren. Okay, so this is the family thing. Children and grandparents. Here, and Child's Day at school. Okay, this is a younger child, I guess, but this is still the parent-child relationship. Okay.
Mother-child interaction.
Okay.
Father,
Yeah.
wife.
Yeah.
Sports fan.
Oh, yeah, cool. I think it's a very different one because it's broadcasting to the, yeah.
Probably a customer and sales.
Okay. So this is the professional one, I think.
Not disabled to non-disabled.
Okay. It's a different one. Yeah?
Mine was like stranger
Okay. Yeah, so it's like a flatmates again, so it's more in that. Or...
The people don't like something themselves, so they have to like check on
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I got this is the rest of it. An elephant who wishes to express his gratitude towards someone who's freed them from captivity.
Okay. Good one.
Sorry. Just elephants.
Yeah, they are really emotional. Didn't you notice? Yeah. Okay.
Bank manager, personal interaction.
So this is more professional. So this is like provider, service provider. Because I think that we've got. I think that there are two categories now coming up.
Landlord, tenant, person.
Yeah, because it's like more the provider and the recipient,
Yeah.
and the other is. employee to, like CEO to employees. It's a different combination, I think. Okay, so, okay.
Comparing like autistic people to normal people.
Okay. So I think that this is disabled. This is the whole category of people who want to communicate about their, from their perspective, which can be quite unique.
One friend is sightseeing.
Okay. So it's friends.
Yeah.
Okay, that comes here.
I have friends in a group. So
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
In a working environment, team members.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Like a person from another country wishes to engage with someone from a different culture and might not speak the same language or have different understandings about life.
Yeah.
And they want to kind of be friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Sorry.
Like more cultural
Yeah.
understanding.
Yeah, actually, I heard like in the Netherlands I think in the 80s, the Dutch men were exporting or importing wives from Russia. And obviously there is a little bit of a communication problem there, right? Okay, I think that this is one different team members and team leaders, so this was the work. Okay.
Person in dog interaction by playing fetch.
Okay, so yeah, we go with the elephant there. I think that although it's far away, it's close enough.
They got pets to their owners as well.
Okay.
I wrote teacher and student.
Okay. It nicely follows like pets and owners. Yeah, yeah. It probably fits here. Okay.
Parent-child in public.
Oh yeah, yeah. And especially that child which is growing up and doesn't want the parent to show the emotions anymore. Okay.
Mine was like customers and employees at the bank, see if they have a bad day.
Yeah.
See if they have
Yes. So you can approach them in a different way. Yeah.
This one that they feel a dog who has been missing their owner, who has lived for a long period of time, and they don't quite understand why.
Yeah.
Also could be a child perhaps who doesn't know as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, my cat is thinking that about me. And she sees me through Skype and it's like, okay. I'm not sure that I would like to know what she thinks. It's like, for example, like I'm so much more comfortable where I am right now and I don't want to leave. Yeah.
When owner reaches home after 10 hours and dog is alone at home.
Okay. Yeah.
Got a celebrity reality stars.
Okay, so this goes more into the mass media sort of combination, yeah.
You ask someone for direction.
Oh, well, yeah. I think that this is like really a relatively stranger to stranger combination, right? Yeah.
Chef co-workers.
Yeah.
Projects.
Okay. Or maybe this asking someone for direction is like the combination, like how you would share with the car drivers, right? So this is like a relatively like, yeah.
This one's kind of like the same as the previous one. Just service like hotels or taxis.
Yeah.
See if they should talk or see if they sit.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, for me, it's always the public servants. Like, yeah, I would definitely like to know what sort of mood they are in. So, you know, I know whether I should stay or should come another day.
That was
Yeah.
the previous one. The fact
Yeah. Yeah, but at the bank, they are at least obliged to be at least polite. And in the public office, it's not necessarily the case, right? Yeah.
A researcher who wants to impress their supervisor / investors with their work and progress, but they're struggling to find a solution and they're under time pressure.
Okay.
They're trying to convey the impression.
Okay. Don't come. Don't visit today.
I'm sick.
Yeah. Hi, join in. Yeah.
Talking to friends on Hangout.
Okay, yeah, so this is like friends. We are just mapping all the different groups of users that can share emotions in different contexts and different situations.
Oh, it's when you're traveling with your family.
Uh-huh. So this is, yeah, it's the family business sort of, yeah. Distance. I think that it kind of fits between here because this is not really children and this is not really like the couple, but this is like kind of the family business here. Yeah.
Child's first day of school.
Okay. So this is here.
Just while I'm with a friend over a drink with.
Okay. So here.
Go in and a driving instructor. How they're nervous and change what they're doing.
Okay. Nice. Yeah.
It's a working man who meets a politician and expresses concerns about working conditions and difficulties.
Okay.
Wants to seek some sort of improvement.
Okay. So this is more like a public media sort of, not.
Yeah.
Or is it more working environment like?
It's not a working environment.
Okay.
It's,
So this is really like
Yeah.
going public in a way.
Yeah. So like the politician's trying to impress people, get people to vote for him.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
some workers who are like, these are the people that
Yeah.
I want to get to vote for.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're trying to express their concerns to him.
Okay.
To see if
Yeah.
what kind of recognition, how he responds.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay, I'll put it in the cards, but this is not exactly that. Yeah?
Giving a presentation in a second. Your audience will-
Oh, yeah? That's a different one. Yeah?
We got like feedback for employers with training courses.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think that probably we should have more than one category here, but well, let me. Sorry, I'm taking space. So this is like kind of workers, co-workers, team members to team leader, CEO to employees. It's a different. This is service. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this goes here. Yeah.
Talking to people on the internet who have similar interests.
I think that's a new one. Yep.
Mine's emotion in video games. Sometimes verbal abuse. So for context.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Mine's a person who's in a same-sex relationship and they want to tell their parents for their first time.
Okay. 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 I think that that's the parents part. And emotion in video games, I think that it comes with this internet strangers playing. Here, yep.
Talking to childhood friends.
To childhood school friends. I think that it's just friends. So it's a different relationship, but this is like the friends, yeah.
I got psychologists, education.
Yeah. Actually, we sort of started having this also here. It's like the doctor and a patient relationship. Okay.
Then a customer after share after the
Okay. It's here. Yeah.
talking to neighbors.
Oh, yeah. More like a social. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Video store, online movie store, so you can see the emotion.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So it's like using this as a selling tool, like renting tool, really. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Birthday participation.
Party celebration. It's a different one too because it can be on so many different levels. That yeah, you can actually in the Netherlands again. We used to have so like there were like a huge group of friends from abroad, and they would video stream their weddings. So they would get married in the Netherlands, but the families couldn't come, so they would video stream the whole event, so the families could participate at least somehow in the whole thing. Yeah. Okay.
We got prison guards.
Oh God, I don't know where to put this one. I think that this is a category in itself. Okay.
Confession at the church.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I think that it almost goes to the prison guards. Cool.
Flirting with someone?
Uh-huh. So it's before the relationship. Yeah.
Mine's for someone that is store, so trying on clothes or getting new car, the salesperson can recommend.
Okay, yeah.
The person who has suffered some trauma and is wanting to convey the emotions to a psychologist.
Yeah. Cool. It's the patient. This one is a different one again. Yeah.
Family get together on festivals.
Oh yeah. So this comes in the family business. Yeah.
Politician, voters.
Okay. So this goes here. We already had the. Yeah. No more. Okay. Okay. So it's like an intimate relationship. Guys, you still? Okay, so I'll do another round and we will get to you.
Interaction on first date.
Okay. There we go with the flirting.
We got gamers. I think we really got.
Yeah, but it's like, so probably it comes here. Yeah, the games, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
A boyfriend meeting his girlfriend's parents for the first time.
Oh yeah. So it's the other way. Actually, I remember I was almost escaping a train. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
A woman. Like William Moodys.
Oh, okay. Good point. And a category in itself, I would say.
I've just got strangers walking down the road in public.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I think that this is with driving and the similar here, right? Yeah. Yeah. You still have something? Yeah, sure.
Oh, this is really just.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Mark just repeats long-distance relationship, parents in other cities, parent to child.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so this is all the family part. Look at how many different user groups and situations you were able to create in like 10-minute exercise, just to see what sort of possible design directions you can take. And I think that some of them are actually pretty cool, although they not necessarily go into the sleeping pillow kind of idea that I was showing you last week. So that's what I try to prove to you. And of course, you can keep it, and then you can get inspired by these examples, because this might be something that you will want to take up as your idea for the project. But I think that this basically shows how sometimes narrow we think about the user and the context in which the user operates. And if we allow ourselves to just look at it in such a way, immediately you get so much more inspiration and insights than by just going straight and just going with your first thought and first idea. Okay, we do this exercise for Jonathan now, a quicker one, like 5. Okay, but then you have to explain the project. Yeah, your project, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we are not going to make a map. You make the map yourself, but then you will get maybe some inspiration for your approach. Yeah. No. You just explain what, so everyone is gonna do it. Yeah, yeah.
What helped with the project
Yeah.
is, so my project is yes.
Let's put the system for the patient. Let's leave it at that. Okay? Yeah? Yeah. So basically, like remote rehabilitation. And then each one of you, five post-its and five contexts that it could be used. No, for rehab. So like think of a disabled person that's stuck at home, and this person has to do rehabilitation, and what sort of different situations this rehabilitation could happen, and how others could be involved in it. Yeah, is it clear? Yeah, I'm not have the emotion meter yet, so I need to ask. Okay, and then just go for 5. Yes. No. So basically, imagine that there is like, you are a disabled person at home and you have to do your rehabilitation. A context to it, like how could it happen? Except from the fact that the trainer cannot come to your home. So this situation is off the table, and any other situation, imagine how you could have this rehabilitation thing resolved. And think of who is the user. So is it like a young person, a family person, an old person, living with someone, being alone, like all these contexts that you can have. Yeah. Yeah. Like you were just hearing the story for the emotions. It's like just simple, like 1 sentence max. It's just for this particular context. Sure. Yeah, there you are. So imagine you have this situation that someone is disabled at home after a stroke or some sort of surgery, and they have to go through rehabilitation. And the rehabilitation, the trainer, the thank you very much. It's like we have a Polish word which is rehabilitant, which basically, is just like you try to find, like physiotherapists cannot come to your home. And then how else would you resolve this physiotherapy issue? Like what sort of context you could give to it, and what sort of people could be involved, and who is the main user? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you just think of like what sort of context this rehabilitation could happen. So like you are a little bit going into a solution, but the goal is more to think about the context than the solution itself. It's much more concrete, so it's a bit more difficult to come up with like so broad spectrum of ideas, but
So it can be a solution which is already made.
yeah, you could include a technology as one of the agents in the whole interaction, like this whole context. Yeah. You're not writing your own? No. It's a lame excuse. Yeah, I can imagine. Ready? Okay. Ready? Yeah. Okay, okay. Okay. Just wait for the last one to be finished. Yeah? Yeah. Just last one idea. Charles, shall we start with you?
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. First one is a child using the rehabilitation technology, and they're scared more about the pain, so the parents are trying to help.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It is a very interesting context, definitely. It was not specific for the stroke thing, so yeah, you will get some other ideas. Yeah?
Just one.
Just one?
So, yeah, I wrote this. So, first of all, the amputated lung is going to use it.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, but just write. Tell what you wrote.
Yeah, I thought you.
Okay, but just read what you wrote.
Yeah, I just wrote some technology that probably monitors. So prioritize it.
Yeah, but just explain. Just try to.
Kind of like probably said there's a lot of patients and the doctors
Yeah.
visit everybody. So probably they can monitor remotely what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they can.
So they can actually attend those who are more frequently, those who are not doing that well, versus like letting to exercise those who are doing okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I just got stroke victims.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
The timer can have a tracker which can track
Yeah. 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 Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Sports person who had an injury and they're going through rehabilitation. So
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Charles?
Rehab of muscle damage using the advice of Dr. 3D equipment to use like equipment, just things like around the house.
Okay. Yeah. So like just use whatever is around you to do the exercises. That's a nice one as well. I think that also it's kind of yeah. 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 Oh, you just one. Okay. Okay.
I got broken limbs, so like covering.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Camera set to monitor autistic child.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's like a pre-loaded set of videos. Select them.
Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, done. Just keeps on producing. Cool.
Mental health rehabilitation through coaching, live videos with the doctor and pre-recorded.
Okay. Oh yeah. 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 Okay.
Got back problems.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm gonna get to this at some point, because my students were designing something like this. So, yeah.
Diabetic people can measure their glucose reading and send directly to their respective doctors.
Mm-hmm.
In case of urgency, doctors will that person who is reading.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Done. Okay.
I'm done.
Done.
Get rid of patients.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Children can monitor their full parents, conditions.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So they kind of get information of what's going on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
I got slashed together feet, so split lower right there.
Okay. I could go for it too. Yeah.
In case of death, automatic alert will be sent to subtractive detection of death.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Give it all to Jonathan, so he can, look for inspiration in your ideas. Yeah. 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 Just plug it together and just send it over to him. Okay. So, what is this whole context mapping? It's a perfect time to come, So, first of all, there's a huge ambiguity in the phrase itself. So, like, context is like I told you, it's like so many different things. So, there is a traditional definition that is being used in the domain of context mapping, which is that context is between people and products. So it can be people and people through products, but there's always a interactive product involved in context mapping. And basically, this whole thing is to just keep on asking those Aristotelian questions: what, how, who, when, where, how long, why, and so on. So basically, if you keep on asking yourself those questions, you will get an understanding of what the context or different contexts can all be about. And whole thing is that the whatever questions you choose, it will determine your perspective on the context. So basically, if you decide to ask certain questions and not ask other questions, this will be the view that we'll get. You cannot get the whole holistic view of the context itself, but so you have to kind of zoom in into it, and the questions determine how you do it. So this is really important. Like if you are asking a questions, like we have this question about sharing emotions, it's really it's very important to ask yourself, okay, what am I going to focus? What my research question is, like in what context and who am I going to address in this whole project? Okay, so one other small exercise. This will be easier, I promise. Just share the paper. Just one page. And I would like you to remember your today morning brushing your teeth. What do you remember? Just write. Yeah, while brushing the teeth. Yeah. What do you remember from it? What is the memory that you've got of brushing your teeth today morning?
Points.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, 30 more seconds to finish. Okay. So what was it?
Are you asking about what I was thinking or what is in my mind at the time?
Yeah, what was your memory of morning toothbrushing?
I felt it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
I felt the cold.
Mm-hmm.
And sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm using
Mm-hmm.
I was using the other paste.
Mm-hmm.
I was using a different paste. Applying it, so
Mm-hmm.
I remember about the last food that I
Mm-hmm.
garlic.
Mm-hmm.
That's because yesterday night.
Mm-hmm.
And I garlic I thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
Even after using it.
Mm-hmm.
Beware that I did it. Not this. The color of the toothbrush.
Uh-huh.
That was it.
Uh-huh.
It's to what after
Mhm.
brushing teeth.
Okay.
So that these are the two
Okay.
things.
Okay, cool.
Apart from everyday schedule or whatever that.
Mhm.
Apart from that,
Okay, cool.
I was waking up in the then I went to the bathroom and checked like, is this my toothbrush or toothpaste? There are not
Mhm.
so, companies.
Yeah, and then you've got this the tube problem, right?
We'll check like the company and the fresh condition and everything. How much toothpaste is left.
Korean.
Mm-hmm.
And what other field?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, pretty much it's just the steps. So you don't have to brush, you know, put too much toothpaste on. Do a lot.
And brushing.
Yeah,
Foaming.
yeah, and just like my teeth scroll, so I just thought that I needed to get some sensitive toothpaste next time.
Yeah.
And never feel like eating.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I remember it's very cold. First thing I thought is we left the door closed again because we always have a discussion with the door open.
Uh-huh.
That's the first thing I thought. And then I remember the red toothpaste blue,
Mm-hmm.
red color. Then someone left the beer in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
It really happened.
Okay.
And then while brushing my teeth, I remember to rinse, I was actually waiting for the water to get hot.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
then I was wondering what to have for breakfast
Mm-hmm.
and how cold it would be outside.
Mm-hmm.
And how much time left for class.
Yeah.
And also planning on if I go to class, can I come back and sleep?
Okay. Yeah.
So I woke up and
Not thinking about the cold. Hey, this is a true New Zealander, right?
so I felt a bit gross because I had bad breath in the mornings after sleeping all night. So I went straight into the bathroom to clean my teeth, which, yeah, it was good. I remember, I don't know, started cleaning them. It was good to kind of wash away the night, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Feel cleaner. Kind of got bored halfway through, so I started thinking about what I was going to do today and plans, what I was doing last night, had lab stuff and things. And then went and had breakfast, and food tasted kind of weird because of the toothpaste.
Yeah.
In my mouth, like an apple or whatever. But yeah, it's sort of quite a well familiar taste, so it's weird, but not bad.
Okay. Yeah, cool. No, I do brush after. Yeah, after. After, yeah. Yeah.
Mother don't eat anything to eat before brushing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what's your story?
I was just walking around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Oh.
I brush my teeth in the shower just to like save time, so that's good. So whilst doing this, I was sort of thinking about what I'm going to achieve today. What clothes am I going to put on? Get out of the shower. Most brushing my teeth. What is still like for a long time. Yeah, again, food. What I mean, running out of food. Like breakfast, so. So yeah, I was going to go to the supermarket today, or do I have the time to go to the supermarket?
Mm-hmm.
Or should I just stay here and just focus on achieving my goals? Also, I was excited about coming in and making a coffee because I like having a coffee.
Yeah.
And like motivating myself and also how well I'm achieving my goals.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to achieve.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Bit of differences, but actually, I was surprised that not more of you said about the taste of the paste, because this is typically, I think, at least in Poland, like when I do this exercise, everybody talks about how it tasted, that is like strong or like or like foaming around your mouth, and then the thing getting dirty and so on. So actually, this is really the context. We are not going to repeat the exercise. Sometimes I do it, but I think that we don't really have that much time. You can try it at home, but if you start thinking about other things, about the context, about all the other questions that can define what surrounds you, suddenly like so much more things come to to your perspective. Like, yeah, exactly, like how the bathroom looked like, what was the light, what was the, like, what was your night, like, and all the things that kind of made you build your emotions and the whole environment and whole context of this whole situation of simple, you know, cleaning your teeth, brushing your teeth. So even those kind of simple situations have very different contexts. And like with the shower, or like before or after the breakfast, these also, you can really see how these things change. One of the very interesting design ideas we got from this exercise was about the fact that people never know whether they used up their toothbrush or not yet. So it kind of gets, you know, the hair go like crazy, and then you don't know, like, should I throw it away or should I still keep it? Is it still okay? There should be an indication of how much of your toothbrush is used, right? So even from this kind of exercise, you can really get design ideas that create some solutions that usually wouldn't come to your mind if you just thought about just this, just without the context, the fact of cleaning of your teeth. Okay, so how to do it? This context mapping. There's the whole procedure, a long one. I took a part of it that is more relevant to the data analysis. So the first thing that you need to do, you have to prepare yourself for it. Then you do some exercise that's called sensitizing. Either you can do it or you can ask your users to do it for you. Then there's the data aggregation and the data analysis. And I give you an example how it goes. So that was an exercise given at the industrial design in Delft. And the idea was, like, there was a company who wanted to design something for supporting parents while traveling with small kids. So, like, you know, the parents try to get the kids together to push them from A to B with different means of transportation. And then, you know, like, what's going on in this whole situation. So the first thing was to get out, to kind of dig up all the assumptions that you yourselves have. So you can start thinking, okay, it's probably a lot of luggage, children screaming, being bored. Like, there are a lot of stereotypes, a lot of assumptions that we have in our heads, which may or may not be true. Probably some of them are true and some of them are not. So the very important thing is just to push all those assumptions out of your system and just write them down, so you really know, you kind of can start looking at your users with a fresh eye, without really kind of applying all the heuristics that you have yourself in your head. So actually those that were created here, this is during the session with the designers, tons of luggage, safety and hygiene, the problems, children get dirty and they can run away. And really unpredictable behavior. So, like, you know, you never know what they are going to do. So after you got this out, you can do sensitizing, which is basically preparation of a booklet, sort of like a diary that you either write yourself while observing your users, or you give it to the users so they can write down all their stories and all their personal experiences in the situations that you ask them to monitor. And then, you know, they can draw in it. You can give them specific questions. You can make them focus on different aspects, and basically you ask them to do the study. And basically these are the different questions, and all the questions should be open-ended. So you know, like, you should really don't ask them questions that they can give a yes or no answer to, because then you don't get any understanding really out of them. And then from that, you do the data aggregation. So basically, because, like, those kind of studies, they give you a lot of different material. You get drawings, you get text, you get pictures, you get really weird stuff, sometimes movies. And this is not an easily analyzable set of data. So the whole thing is not to really focus on the specifics of the content analysis, for example, so, like, you know, specific words or just focusing on the text, but you just make the chunks of data that seem similar. So, like, it can pertain to situations, it can pertain to the age of children, it can pertain to any other aspects, like I was just doing here. So this kind of mind mapping of the whole situation, and you create a huge collage out of it. And then basically what is the next thing? You just sit and you start discussing about the ideal situations for eating rituals during the trip. So like what would be the ideal situation, the ideal context to feeding the kids while driving or like while having them on a trip. And from that, because one thing that the whole analysis here is not done to get results that are verifiable. That's not the goal, that you should do some science with it, some research. This is for looking for inspiration. So the fact that this data is messy and not very well organized, it's not as important as long as it gives you inspiration. So that's the point. Like this is the design perspective and then the research perspective on it. So basically what you do, you basically select the things that are interesting, that are promising. You look for those things that you think that they can really get some support from design perspective. And then you can, the good things are the critical situations, by the way. This is the perfect moment for design intervention, because those critical situations are really the moments where people need help. Like, for example, when a child is like screaming. So what my friend used to tell me, when I was always wondering why there are like cars parked on the sidelines of highways in Belgium, actually. And she said, like, it's like whenever you see this car, it's probably a kid who tried to cover the eyes of their driving mom. So that's the moment when you definitely go into the sideline, although it's not allowed to park there, just to get rid of the kid and then just, you know, kind of safely keep on driving. So those situations are really great moments for design interventions. And basically, the important thing is to go back to your initial assumptions, so the things that you had in your mind, to kind of verify your stereotypes or to change them, to see, okay, with these things I was really right, I kind of got this intuition correct, but with these things, that's actually a completely different story. So maybe I should not hold on to those, my shoes, to my own ideas, but really to kind of incorporate the observations and the ideas that I got from the study into my set of stereotypes in a way. So basically, this is the way of building empathy. And then when you do this, you can categorize all the other issues with drawings and with photos. So actually, you can keep on adding your own inspirations to this whole bunch of data that you got from the users. So that really doesn't matter that much in this particular analysis. And with this actual study, the cool thing afterwards was like there was a bag with all the products that the parents take for a trip with children, and with inspirational quotes saying like how they use these things and what sort of surprising situations those things end up in being while traveling with kids. So this is also inspiration for the future. So maybe sometimes someone else who doesn't have the time or the ability to do the study like you did can take it and get also inspired by some of the discoveries that you've made with your own data. So in this particular study, the most interesting insight was the way kids behave in the car and in the restaurant. So like that was something that the company that actually put this project forward for the students to deal with. They were quite shocked. They were really thinking about food, and like you should build some things that the food can be put in. And suddenly they realized that actually the whole idea is to engage children in being, you know, busy with something, so they are not disturbing the parents while being in a car or ordering food in a restaurant. So that was a very large change of focus for the whole project for them. So what can you get out of context mapping? First of all, it's the intensification of users' involvement. So when people start doing these kind of things, that they get extremely involved. I will be talking about it when I will be talking about cultural probes, like 2 lectures from now. But basically, this is something like people really want to share things with you when you give them those kind of creative ways of sharing things. The second thing is that you create a common language with them, because sometimes we tend to talk to them the language they don't get, and they say, so they nod. They say like and you know, they don't have a clue of what the heck we want from them. This is really something that you suddenly start understanding what sort of language they are using, and it helps you communicate with them in the future. It allows you to look for inspiration on very different levels. So it can be on a very pragmatic level, like, with the behavior of children, you can think like, okay, this box for food can have some stories in it, and the kids have to play with it before they can engage. Before they eat. But basically, so this could be one idea, but it can go on a very different level. Maybe the children should not be allowed to eat during the trip, or it's only at certain points. Maybe that there should be a ritual created out of the way they eat during the trip. So you can get those inspirations on very different levels. It also generates a lot of new questions, which is really cool because you don't just stay on a surface, but you keep on digging and keep on looking for something which is much more unique. Like like if you keep on going deeper, this won't be this idea everyone else could have, and it gives you more and more understanding of what sort of problem you're dealing with. And also, it gives you a confirmation or rejection of assumptions regarding a given group. I think that with many of the discussions that we've got here, you might be really surprised how people approach these contexts and how they interact with each other. Like, there was this interaction between the old folks in the old people home. Actually, one of our students in Eindhoven did a project on that. And what was really shocking for me was that, in the homes, people live often alone. So you'd imagine that they are quite social with each other and that they are striving for contact with another person. But actually, it seems that this whole social relationship is extremely delicate. So they want the contact, but they don't want to be rejected. And it's a conflict for them. So like if I come and ask you to go for a walk with me, if you say no, then I feel rejected and I feel really bad about myself. So what they do, they don't do that at all. Basically, they give up on that contact simply because they don't want to feel rejected. So that was one of the findings of the student of ours. And what she did, she designed you can have like a tile, like for the walls. And in the Netherlands, there is this traditional type of shoes, klompen. I don't know, the wooden things with the nose. The Crocs were inspired by klompen. I think klompen. It's like that's how they are called. So basically, she got this as like a gadget, like you buy it as a souvenir, like Eiffel Tower and then the klompen if you travel across Europe. So basically, what they did, they created this tile, and you could put those shoes on the tile, and it would send a signal to all the people you would like to walk with, indicating, okay, I'm going for a walk. And if someone else has wanted to join you, they can put their own shoes on it, and it sends a signal back to you. Okay, there will be someone joining you for the walk. But if this doesn't happen, it's very easy to assume that people didn't notice that I put my shoes there. So there's no feeling of rejection in this whole interaction, even though if sometimes someone can decide, okay, I don't want to walk with this particular person. So you can see like how it was designed to support people going for walks together, but at the same time, it was supporting them for not feeling socially rejected. And that really comes from this really deeper understanding of how these people interact. Okay, how to do this whole thing? So first of all, you have to prepare yourself for it. So the main thing is to know what you are looking for, because often people go and start looking for something, but they don't quite know what they are looking for, and therefore they cannot find anything. So it's really important to formulate your research question. And sometimes people go with really broad questions, like having insight in the use of mobile phone to stay in touch with the partner, right? So that's not really quite specific. But if you go like what it is to be like to be a partner who is returning from a long absence, and what concerns, feelings, and attitudes do they have when being on the way home? So this is actually not about sharing. So like I've been away for a long time, and I'm not at home yet. I'm just coming home, and what sort of emotions, what sort of feelings I would like to share? And this is a very specific context, very specific situation. And you can imagine that it's like, okay, I landed, I'm happy and the other person reacts to it. Oh, we are waiting for you. So you can build the whole story of sharing emotions throughout this whole trip, from like landing at the airport, or like even, getting to the airport at your departure place, all the way to just being at the door, or maybe just entering the home and just sharing all the emotions. And through this kind of concrete question, you can really get into this core issue that you want to investigate in your context mapping. And then the important thing is that the product that you are trying to design, it should not be mentioned in a goal. So this is not about, how this person is using a mobile phone. This is not about the mobile phone. This is about the emotions. So you really want to get, the technology might appear in the course of context mapping, but it should not be predetermined at the beginning. And then this clear goal statement is very, very important when you're not going to get a really, you will not be able to experience the context yourself. So if you give someone a diary and they go away, then you really need to know what you are looking for. Otherwise, you will not be able to find the things that are important. You can find many interesting things, but it's just that might dilute what you are looking for. Then help you focus on a particular problem. Okay, so the first thing, like I mentioned, is this getting out of your assumptions. So you are looking for two things when you do it. You are trying to get rid of your preconceptions. This is the important thing, because this really influences the way you look at the problem. And then it helps you to create the instructions and the guidelines for the users to deliver you data. So it gives you, like, if you start thinking about this coming back from home, you can think, okay, what sort of means I can give to these people to be able to give me the data in a correct way in the right moment, rather than just reflecting on it afterwards. And then you just create it in the form of an initial map, and it helps you also to see, like, okay, what were the things you knew before, and what were the things that you actually learned? Because sometimes you sort of think that, like, things are obvious or trivial even, and like actually when you see, okay, but I didn't see them before I started doing my project, so maybe they are not as obvious as you might think afterwards. So this is the important thing to know. Okay, then participant selection. That's a tricky business. First of all is to invite a variety of people. So basically, when you invite a lot of them, the discussions will be very diverse and very rich. But on the other hand, they may not feel comfortable with each other. So this is the other side of the story. So basically, the background of the people you invite really influences the study that you are doing. And the session with few participants, they give you like 2 to 4, they give you fewer stories, but on the other hand, you can go into depth with those stories because people get comfortable quite quickly, so they are willing to share more when they are in a bigger group. So a group of 4 is large enough to create a group feeling and have discussions. So I like 6 or 5 than 4, because with 4 people kind of team up. And then you sort of, sometimes they split, and then the discussions sort of go into 2 directions. If you have 5 or 6, then the discussion is becoming more joint discussion than in a smaller group. But there are different approaches. Bigger group is a difficult group to pay attention to and to really discuss things with them. And also people start being much more socially aware, and they are afraid to get kind of ridiculous. They don't want to embarrass themselves, and they are not telling the true stories very often. So it's a tricky person. So a tricky thing. One important thing is that, like, if you invite a creative person, 1 or 2 to your group, that really stimulates the discussion. So it's good to have a designer or someone creative from creative domain to be a part of your discussion, because this person usually inspires other people to share more. So this is, and also, like, if you have an outgoing person but not a dominant person, that's also good. So this person starts telling the stories, like breaks the ice, and then the other people are much more willing to share their own stories. But on the other hand, if you get a dominant person in a group, and this person will sort of take over the whole discussion, and then you don't get the other stories. So this is more or less this. So like you really have to be very careful who you choose for the study, because if you choose wrong, you are not going to get the data that allows you to get good insights from what you want to investigate. Okay, then it's the sensitizing part. So this whole thing is you want participants to perform a series of small tasks, really small ones. They should take no longer than 5-10 minutes per day. And they are called reflective practitioners. So these people, so you put them in the role of reflective practitioners. You tell them, okay, you are the experts on your situation, so keep on reflecting on it while doing those kind of things, and then it helps me as a designer to understand what's going on. So you create the sensitizing package, and basically the basic principle of the exercises is to let people express their memories, opinions, dreams about the central topic of the study. So the whole thing is that you want to get their very subjective opinions, their dreams, their critical points, like real stories about, like very personal stories that they want to share with you. And then the participants should receive the package about 1 or 2 weeks before the creative session. So the whole study should end up with a creative session, and they get it so they have time to fill in all the tasks that you gave them. Small exercises trigger participants to reflect on their experiences without analyzing them too much. So the whole idea is that they should reflect on them, but not go deep into like thinking like, why did I feel this like this or like that? So like you want them to report what they felt, but not really try that much to understand why they felt the way they felt. This comes later. This comes when you're doing the user studies. And basically, the whole idea is that each exercise elicits a fresh perspective on the situation. So, like, that's what you want. You want to understand the context. You don't want to understand all the motivations. You want to understand the context. And then those packages are meant to simulate reflections. So, that's their goal. I'll again, like when I'm going to show you the cultural probe, it has a lot. It's a bigger study, and it had more elaborate exercises, but I think that from that you might get the whole idea of how it works, how it could work like. And but if you remember those things that people take into their trips, so actually you could think of these kind of elements as the small probes to give to the people and say like, okay, you give them a shape of an apple and say like, okay, write what you took for food for the trip, or like when you talk about this emotional sharing, you give people like hearts and clouds, and then like they sort of report what sort of emotions they had at what stage. So it's a very simple thing, and then you can really get a lot of different insights from them. So as I said, the whole thing should be playful and professional. It has to look professional, otherwise people feel that they don't want to put good quality data. This is like, if you give them a professionally looking thing, they will give you a professionally looking insight. If you give them something that looks so-so, you will get the so-so data. And actually, we also tried it out, and really there is a difference in a quality of the data, depending on how you design the whole thing. Sorry. And the thing is that the subject of the package is like a little bit broader than your study, so you might kind of get on the edges of something to find something else that fits into the study, just then focusing on the study itself. The activities should be inspirational and provocative. Especially provocative is a really good thing. If you want them to really tell you something which is unexpected, provoke them. Like give them something that they are going to feel like, do I want to share it with you? So like that really gets them on this edge of sharing things that are really actually quite important. So yeah, as I said before, it stimulates participants to reflect on daily pattern over a few days. And the whole idea is that so we do a lot of things without really thinking about them. And if you do it over a number of days, then they slowly start becoming much more reflective on what they are doing. And therefore, you basically get a deeper understanding of what's going on. So the first ideas can be quite shallow, and then the more exercises they do, the more likely it is that they will share with you some interesting insights. It's like sort of with this. like with the first 5, it's probably the easy ones, and with the last 5, this is something that you have to dig out from the bottom of yourself, and therefore it can be much more, maybe not more inspiring, but just a different perspective, and this is basically the goal. The whole thing is that package always needs to include a white space to write ideas and impromptu comments. So you should always give some space where they can write whatever they want, because it also gives a lot of inspiration that may not fit into your exercises, but basically, still give you some interesting insights. As I said before, working with on the packages, it should not require more than 5 to 10 minutes. People, especially if you give them a long task and you don't pay them for participation, or pay them a lot for participation, then if you burden them too much, then they are less willing to do it. And also, if they go deeper and deeper into analyzing things, then they may not report on their experiences, but more on their beliefs on what the experience was all about. So at the end, you always do a session with participants. Basically, you can have group sessions, pair sessions, and individual sessions, and they have their advantages and disadvantages. Group sessions allow you to, so people, when they tell their stories, they can all react to them. So it's just more sharing of the stories. But the problem is that, if you have a large amount of very diverse information, which is generated in one session, you have a lot of data to analyze. And if it goes on a very generic level, you didn't go deeper into understanding why things happened the way they happened. A global view of context and various user experiences will be created in a group session, so you can see what people are reacting to. So someone says something and other people say oh yeah, we have the same experience, and then you know that this is probably a more generic problem. If there's one person telling a story which is maybe quite unique and quite entertaining, but everybody goes why does it happen to you? So maybe this is not something that you should necessarily focus on. So basically you get a lot of group dynamics that shows you what sort of things and what sort of ideas are kind of resonating with people and which are not. But on the other hand, if you don't have professional moderation, this can get tough. People go and tell their stories, and it's really difficult to keep them in the space that you want to keep them in. So if you don't have a professional moderator, or you are not an experienced moderator, it can get really quite tough. I moderated hundreds of sessions, and still until today I've got sessions that 1 or 2 participants, they just break them and tear them apart, and you just can't do anything about it. Recently I've got a group of teenagers, and we're doing a study, and they were so ashamed of each other that they didn't want to say anything. So you have a session and you try to drag answers from people, and at some point there were some creative exercises. I just gave up on those. I just wanted to get some information out of them, and those guys were just silent. It was the toughest session I've ever had in my life, and it was actually quite recently. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of group sessions. I like pair sessions quite a lot because people start feeling quite comfortable, especially if they come with a friend or a spouse or a partner. And there they actually we also had sessions where there were couples and they would quarrel in front of us, going no, I don't think that this is true what you're saying. No, you are like this, and so on. So you get a lot of emotions from it, and therefore you get a lot of data, which is really rich. So the participants can actually tell things about each other. So they can really kind of reflect during the session on the stories of the other person. And actually you can also do the session not in a professional environment, but you can really go to their place or to their home, and then they feel much more comfortable. So they can show you things, you can take photos there. It just gives you a richer context. But the problem is that, of course, the stories are less diverse, and then you don't crush them against each other. So maybe you're missing on some things that would come on those edges of discussion. And finally, the individual sessions. They are so basically you can really focus on a particular participant and really pay attention to them, but then you're again losing this richness of the data that people can, many people discussing things can tell you. And they can also get a little bit intimidated. So like if you keep on asking very personal questions, they can basically, shut down and would not want to share anything with you. Actually, my students did it. I'm teaching them always how to prepare questionnaires. And they were talking about staying fit in the, like when you are like around 50, 60. And they sort of focus on the visual looks. And they went to the lady who is the receptionist at the academia, and they asked her the first question, like, what is your relation with your husband? And I was trying to stop them from doing this, but they thought that they had a perfect questionnaire. So like, okay, go ahead, like, have a go, and I'm curious what's going to happen. So of course the lady, she completely shut down. She left the building. She was sitting on a bench there for like an hour or something. She didn't want to talk to them afterwards. It was a major social embarrassment for both her and them. And I think that they learned their lesson through this exercise. They are definitely not going to ask those kind of questions, but this is basically the risk that you can run into. And also the problem is that it's much more time consuming. So if you talk to your users one by one, it takes a lot of time. It's a choice. Like I said, I'm a great fan of pair sessions, and I think that they work quite nicely. But again, you really have to like either put people who know each other and like each other, like, or maybe don't like each other. Like they have some emotions towards each other, and you need to really try to moderate so they both have a chance to speak up their minds. Okay, I put you an example of this kind of session. I'm not going to go through it, but this is more or less how it looks like. It usually takes about 1 to 2 hours. And yeah, you do a number of creative exercises, asking them of what sort of data they collected, and then you think of ideas and concepts that come out of it. And one important thing is that you can always use some tools. You can give pictures, like they can actually mark certain observations of their by different kind of coding, like icons and emotions and so on. One very interesting exercise is that you give them pictures with words, and they can make combinations between words and pictures that they create a visual map of what they are talking about. And you can also make them try to kind of build things, so they are kind of sort of being manually engaged while telling you the stories. Basically it's proven that it helps people to be, so like if they are building something and they are talking about it, they kind of express, they revert their emotions from inner emotions to outer emotions, and that makes them be much more open. So that really helps. Okay, with the data analysis, this is the last part. First of all, after the session, immediately write down what you thought about, what you observed, what sort of remarks you've got. Otherwise, it's gone. It's like really important to even make notes during the session or record the session. But write your ideas down, because the ideas will be gone right away. Like even if you re-listen to the whole session, the initial ideas that you've got may vanish. Go through the audio and video documentation. Again, as I said, this is not a research study, so it doesn't. You don't need to transcribe it. We will be talking about transcriptions later, in other classes. But basically, this is something that allows you to reflect on the data that you got again. So like when you are in the midst of the discussion, it's often you sort of engage in the whole conversation, so you are not maybe paying attention to everything that's going on. So this watching and or listening to the session gives you a chance to kind of relive the whole thing and look at it from the outside. And basically, just work with if you have transcripts, if you decided to do transcripts or your notes. Basically what I do, I always write quotes. Quotes are really powerful, so even if I'm not really doing the full transcription, if there's an interesting quote, I just write it down, so I can attach it to some chunks of data that I'm collecting, and basically, annotate the data that you're looking through, just to get more understanding of what's going on there. What is really important is just allow yourself to be surprised. Don't look at the data with this preconception that you already know everything about it, because sometimes you can just when you look at it again, you can just get new ideas from it. And if you think like, okay, I already got all my ideas, then yeah, that sort of doesn't make sense anymore. So yeah, if you don't want to be surprised, don't do it because it's just a waste of time. So basically what you're searching for interesting indications, new impressions and insights, just write them down. And sometimes even if you don't know what to do with them, just put them there. Maybe you will throw them away, but maybe they will bring you something. And basically, if you do it on Post-it notes, it allows you to rearrange everything. So this is a good practice. Not only because it always looks so colorful, but it's also because it just allows you to quickly reposition categories and then just change the whole arrangement of the data that you collected. And then when you find the patterns, so the last thing is like looking for the patterns. So like when you reorganize these kind of things, like for example here I did one very quick analysis and I got those categories. But actually, when we can look at this data from a very different perspective, and we might get completely different categories out of it. So it's good to have a multiple views on the data that you collected. Just use space. Space always helps to do these kind of things in a good way, and then you're not constrained that you have to put something into some category because you don't have any more space left anymore. So therefore, you just glue it somewhere just because it should fit. And basically, when you create these kind of things, it's really good to mark what the connections between the categories are. So you can say, okay, this one, like for example, we had this here, like neighbors, like it's friends, but not really. So it has something with the friends, but something with the strangers. And when you get those kind of categories, then you also understand what sort of circles of data you've got over there. And then once you've got all of it, the important thing is that you want to actually bounce all those findings that you got out of it with your users, because they are actually the mirror in which the ideas that you've got will reflect in. So you can do it in very many ways. It's like collages, mood boards, and these kind of tools are the best because they help people to really look at the data from different perspectives, like combining pictures and text. Here you can basically see about something about the kitchen design, and this is one way. And the other way was like this. It was about shaving, and you've got the quotes, and you've got some explanations to the quotes. So these things also engage. These kind of designs really engage users in reflecting together on the data that you collected. Okay, so the exercise. We are not able to do it, so I'm not going to ask you to do it right now. But basically, if you want to, this is for some extra points. You could do this exercise. So just create the map of your assumptions for the focus that you want to get for the particular user group that you are going to design for, and then present this map and just discuss it with some people who are in the situation that you are designing for. So, for example, again, if you take the I don't know, a couple or parent-child relationship or any other, just try to find a few users to discuss this kind of assumptions that you've got with them, just to see how far off or how close you are to what they really think about their own situation. And this is just for some extra points. Thank you. Any questions? Yeah, this 3 o'clock is, I think that it makes you want to go home right away, right?